So the concept of this video is simple. I played Apex Legends for about 650 hours up until the very day, 30 days ago, where I decided to stop for a month. I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped playing Apex Legends after playing it all the way from launch in February until late October, what it would be like if I took 30 days off. What would happen? Would I be better? Would I miss the game? Would I not miss the game? What would I feel and how would I perform when I came back? Now, you may think that I'm lying. If you look at my videos, I can understand why. Over the last month, I have posted videos, but here's the trick, guys. I actually didn't use any new footage. I'm serious. I really was using old footage because I collected a bunch of footage in October for a huge video called Ranking and Explaining Every Legend from Best to Worst. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description below, but it's super in-depth. It's about 28 minutes, and I needed all of that footage for that. So for the last videos and topics I've been covering, I've actually been using pre-recorded footage from earlier on in a month previous. Even the duos video, I wasn't technically playing, and that was footage that I was potentially going to use for that ranking and explaining video. Now on to the bigger topic. Yes, I didn't play for a month for real. Yes, I was curious as to what would happen. Would I be better? Would I be worse? And lastly, what I want to make this video about before all of you is because the results were really shocking to me. Like, I was really surprised with what ended up happening. And it goes back to a very unique experience I would always have playing soccer. Now, when I took breaks off of UCLA and we would go between the spring and the summer from playing a lot to having a break, going home, and obviously getting a chance to unwind, I would always come back after that break feeling refreshed. I wouldn't practice, I wouldn't play, but all the things I'd been working on beforehand had somehow come together in that little moment, and I was excited to see if that phenomenon would take place again. So, would I be better? Would I suddenly have all those synapses connect and fire? Would the altitude of my experience taking a break off make me get that victory royale, that champion situation at the end? Well, it all started when we took a nice landing in duos mode for the first time. Alright, so it's time to jump into my first game of World's Edge in 30 days. Apex Legends has been a little notorious for making me feel nervous and a little bit, I think, overwhelmed, just kind of knowing there's a lot of elements people could be dropping on me. Will I get a good gun? I don't want to go to too populated of an area, and this is my first game of duos, and I'm recording, so I want this to be good footage. But surprisingly, one of the first things I noticed is that I didn't feel that way at all. I had a lot of calm, a lot of sense of serenity, and one of the biggest feelings I could probably relay to you all is excitement. I felt really relaxed and excited to loot and to find any gun that I was finding. It felt good to hear the sounds again. It felt great to feel the movement of such a polished and fun game, and it gave me a new appreciation for something that had probably become a little dull, considering that I had played it for so much, so frequently. I find an R301 here, and it's time to put those feelings to the test. Would it actually impact my combat ability, though? I hear some footsteps outside, so it's time to find out. Wow, okay, surviving that close isn't really an example of how much better I got over my absence. Maybe that wasn't enough to convince you or me, but at the end of the day, I did survive, and maybe that little tick of health that I think I got from my drone of compassion actually ended up making the difference. I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of times when I get into playing Apex, I forget to use my abilities all the time, especially when I switch characters, switch legends, you know, I'll go a whole game without using that heal if I've been playing Gibraltar, if I've been playing Caustic all day, and I'll just think, oh my God, what have I been doing? And I sometimes think that when you do go back to certain things, your brain is alert in a new way. The same way that if you're doing a new task or a new skill, there's a little bit of sensitivity, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of how do I do this? So your brain is on that active alert because you don't have this in your memory yet. I think if you take some time off, it does end up making you alert to some more of those situations and maybe just thinking more actively. I know that happens to me when I change my sensitivity a drastic degree. I have to really concentrate on how I'm moving my fingers and my hands, and that ends up actually sometimes making me play a lot better and more confidently than when I'm very comfortable and casual and not really thinking about it. All that's good and dandy, but we do get out of course, our first fight in the game. And I'm thinking, you know, this is going pretty well. Obviously, starting this video out, I want a victory, but will I be able to get to that? Ultimately, though, we've got decent gear. I've got a Havoc, which I have to say is pretty good in duos, and I'm sad to see this mode going away because it is fun to kind of like have a lot of 1v2s and a lot of situations where you can test your might in really a lot of 1v1s just again and again and again. The 2v1 situation happens a lot in typical Apex Legends, and of course that can be difficult if you're trying to really show off your skill in those duel type scenarios. But duos, it's perfect for that. So we're looting up here with my buddy, and I'm not using a mic, unfortunately. It was late. I had my someone in the room with me actually listening to music, so it wasn't really available. But we do see this gold ball, so we decide to go ahead and chase it down. Maybe we'll get some good gear. So, 2 kills down, 20 squads left, just got some gold armor, feeling a lot better about the situation. I'm walking over to the gunshots, but then I hear my teammate say this.
I think we can make it if we're...
And I think he's talking about the vault, although I didn't notice it at that time. He had picked up a vault key. Now, I'm kind of like feeling, let's test the luck. Let's test the waters. Let's see if this raging river is really raging inside of me. And I wanted to go to the gunshots, but I decide to not try to risk it, and I want to stick with my teammate. So we go through this underground tunnel area, which is where the train passes by in this new map, World's Edge, for Season 3. However, one of the funny dynamics is that although we thought we were running completely away from gunshots, we ended up running towards a little bit more danger than we expected, and it gave me my second big test of the day. You'll see what I mean in just a second.
Contact with target.
Hostile right here.
Whew. Okay, so we end up fighting on 2 fronts. We end up doing decently in that fight and finally getting it, but we were split, and that definitely put us in a pretty isolated position. We think we have a lot of time to loot and be free, but we actually have a team shooting us right after that.
We're getting to that storage if we're gonna get there. That's outside.
So obviously, we're still moving forward, and this is a big deal. I'm starting to notice that, yes, I am sharper. I'm feeling good. I'm mentally more acute and aware, and also my teammate is obsessed with his vault. I've got great gear. He's already got a purple shield, but he still wants to hit the vault, and I don't blame him. I don't want to leave him. I want to stay connected as a team, so I decided to go and follow with him. Now, this whole idea actually wasn't really even my fault. It was something that happened because I literally got so busy doing esports events, and I've been traveling to San Francisco every single week and spending 4 out of the 7 days there. I come back, I spend 2 days in San Diego with my girlfriend, and then I drive up, I spend 2 days in LA, 1 day to recuperate, 1 day to prep for the next week, and then the very next morning at about 6 a.m., or 5:30 a.m., I'm up, waking up, and going to San Francisco. Now, obviously, when I do that, it can be a bit scary because I've honestly felt like sometimes as a YouTuber, you could see your audience just sometimes not clicking. I mean, we all have videos that underperform. And what happens if this month that I take off or this time I take off is the time that stops my channel's growth, or that means I don't get what I want in my life, and all that work has been for nothing? I think it's a relatable experience, and I would be lying if I said I didn't get that sometimes. But I know you guys will continue to come back, and partly is that I know that because the people who are here watching me, I couldn't have made to come watch me in the first place. And I think that's the same thing for you. If you've got something going on in your life, if you've got something that you're excited about or that you've been moving towards, it's like if that was not meant to happen, if there were things that were going to stop that, it would have happened already. That clearly you're in the right direction. You're moving where you need to be moving. Otherwise, you wouldn't be moving there. There would have been a brick wall in front of you. You wouldn't have been able to get by it. You would have been like, all right, well, that's not working. Moving on to the next thing. So unlike most people, or at least how I often operate, I don't need to grip my hands on the steering wheel to make it drive any straighter. I can relax. I can allow the ride. I can continue on the route I'm in, accepting and knowing that, yeah, sometimes I will be taking time off. And of course, hopefully making cool videos like this after some of those times off to give a new perspective as to what's going on. All right, so all that aside, it is time to now start moving forward. We've got the fog moving in, or the circle moving in very soon, about 10 seconds, and it's time to try to get into a better position because we have been catching some of these difficult and more edge-related fights where we are in a bad spot. However, just as I say that, I hear some footsteps above us.
1 minute. Ring. I am taking fire.
So my teammate goes down immediately. We get caught rotating, and this is really an opportunity for me. Can I clutch up and make this happen?
Kill the revive real quick. Good shit, dude.
So my homie was saying go for the revive real quick, and I could have done it. I had the shield. It probably would have only taken maybe one grenade to pop us out of that, and it might have been a pretty bad situation, but I get the 1v2 no matter what. I stick to my guns. I don't listen to what he has to say. I trust myself, and I go in for the kill, and that shows me that I'm doing something different than what I've usually done. I mean, how often do you get in that situation in life where, you know, you haven't done something for a while, you don't necessarily know, someone else loud says do something and you do it, but it ends up not being the right decision? That's something that I avoided here, and I'm starting to think that there may be something to this break that I took. Maybe coming back fresh, enjoying myself, loving the landscapes again, feeling like I'm discovering a brand new world is helping me to not only make better decisions and play better, but be more alert and excited about what I'm doing in the first place.
Looks like a care package is coming in.
Now, obviously, the circle is rotating in on us, so it is time to go. So we decided to take a zip line across, but we see another team on the rotation to our left, and we don't want to get caught out like last time. So this time, we're trying to play like we're border deputies, and we're stopping them from crossing our path versus trying to get, you know, a little sneaky and get in front of them. However, this would get complicated very quickly.
Hostile over there.
So I noticed that there's a guy to our right and a guy to our left, and my teammate has no idea. Obviously, I do not have any voice comms right now, so this is a tricky situation. I don't want to get flanked, but I also don't want to leave my teammate to dry since he clearly seems focused on the team to the left. It's time to fight, and we have to choose one.
Drop down.
So they take so much of my health off that I cannot drop down when my teammate says, drop down. This means we're isolated, and unfortunately, as I try to heal, they throw a bunch of grenades and arc stars, and I'm even further isolated from him. That means he's got to start fighting, and I have to show up now, and hopefully that time off has paid some dividends.
Enemy down. Another enemy down. Recharging my shield.
Shit. Nice.
Last one down at a boom boom.
So we finally get the value we were looking for. Another 2v1, another fight that essentially allowed me to showcase that, yeah, I'm feeling good. Things are good. This break has actually worked. It's actually made me feel smoother, better, and I'm operating in a way that doesn't feel like I've taken a month off. I'm operating in a much more excited and focused manner, and I'm really, really liking the way this feels. There has to be something to taking a little bit of time. There's got to be something to coming back refreshed and feeling like you're just naturally more in it, using your instincts at a better degree than you were before. And unfortunately, I don't have much time to philosophize about that because we're about to get shot, or at least poked at, as we try to cross this very dangerous valley.
Only 30 seconds left on the clock. The ring's over. Reloading. Airstrike on.
So there is a team that was camping that ledge above us, and luckily they don't hit us when we're most vulnerable. They throw a Bangalore ultimate to try to basically bombard us away from where they are, and I'm not sure where they go, but remember that Rolling Thunder. Remember that Bangalore ultimate, because it will come back to play later on in the video. We do keep tracking them, though, over the next few minutes, and you will see that they play a very interesting game of cat and mouse. They do not want to engage, and we are trying our best to try to hunt them down, but unfortunately, it doesn't work out the way we were assuming. However, I do think that it's interesting to watch, and you'll see at the end of the video how it all plays out, because, of course, that Rolling Thunder is important. Remember, Bangalore ult just happen. Now, moving on to this other idea, I talked about soccer and how I would take breaks and feel better, but it also is something that I experienced in other parts of my life as well. I've experienced it in relationships, taking breaks with girlfriends that are my current girlfriend now. We've taken many breaks, and during those times where we were really frustrated, life was really tough, we had taken some time off, and we came back together in a totally refreshed and really loving way that made us really value what we had together. But I haven't just seen that in that. I've seen it in, you know, school, mathematics. I've seen it in working out, taking time off and then coming back refreshed. I've seen it in my sports. I've seen it in gaming, and I've seen it a lot in life. And I think that at this point, it's something that we should be paying more attention to in our society. Taking time off is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, what if it's a necessary thing? What if that time off is not something that is a luxury, it's a necessity? What if working all this time, you know, when they say getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, maybe it's the realization that being sick and tired never really works for anybody anyways. How we naturally need time to relax. Like our phones, they need to be plugged in and recharged. Why as humans do we not need that either? So at the end of the day, meditating on those thoughts, thinking about it, I decided to kind of follow this up and see if we can get the ultimate victory for this game. But of course, shots come through on the other side. Using a little bit of warning fire, we try to hunt down this player, but like I said, cat and mouse, they are gone. We have no idea where they went. I literally don't know how they disappeared, but my teammate, he's the cat. He's already on to new prey. This seems like it'll be the final fight, and again, we are hoping that we can get this dub. Send us some love, boys. We're going in. They don't hear me, but I get the self-revive. Can I turn it around? Another 2v1 for the dub. Yeah, no, they killed me very quickly. And as you can see, it's a Bangalore and a Wraith. This is the team that we were trying to play cat and mouse with, and they ran away from us. They also are the team that killed me when I was fighting the other team. Third partied. It still happens in Apex Legends, which is the last and final lesson of this video and thing to mention. You can change yourself and your environment. You can change how you behave. You can get altitude on your situation, but it doesn't mean that the world will change. Your parents are still going to be your parents. Your teachers are going to be your teachers. Your homework's going to be your homework. Your life, yes, can be adjusted. You can create your own personal world, but the better part, I think, of it is how do we change how we deal with it so we enjoy our lives better? We don't get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we go out into that world knowing that, yeah, third parties will still happen in Apex Legends, but I can find ways to be fresher, to be more excited, to be more ingenious with my own play, and I can also develop in ways that doesn't require me to sacrifice my entire life. You know, this idea of grinding and missing out on the world is not something I want to preach to you guys. You could take time off. The things you love, who you are, the abilities you gained, they will still be there, waiting for you like they always have been. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below one thing you might have learned, one thing you might have liked, and if not, feel free to, not say anything at all. And also subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more videos like this. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.